What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about Big Sean and what he had to say in a recent interview with Essence in regards to black women. And basically he said, quote unquote, black women are the closest thing to God. And this comment got some people talking and saying some things. And a lot of the talking is about people speculating, is Big Sean pandering to black women? Is Big Sean being a big panderoni up in here? Like, some folks say yes, some folks say no. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video clip. The video clip is pretty short and straight to the point. And I want you to pay attention to just kind of like body language. Big Sean's body language. So I'm going to play the clip and then come back and give you my take on the video as well as just the situation in general. So here we go.
By the way, women are magical. You know what I'm saying? Black women, I feel like, are the closest thing to God. You know what I mean? Y'all be creating life, and it's funny how this doctor broke it down to me. He was like, we all come out of a black hole, just like how the universe was birthed. You know what I mean? And it's really deep when you get down to it to that level. So being around women, especially black women and talent like that, it's a pleasure for sure.
Alright, so you guys saw the video clip. And first, do I think he's sincere? Long story short, no. I hate to say that, but I gotta keep it real and just be honest about it. No, I don't think that's, what Big Sean's true sentiments are. I don't think that, I'm not saying that he, hates black women. But I do think that sometimes people kind of put on a performance. And I think in this situation, Big Sean may have been saying this partly because it sounds good. And let's be real, he's saying this on Essence's platform, right? He didn't say this in the Rolling Stone newspaper, Rolling Stone magazine. He didn't say this in Elle magazine or Cosmopolitan magazine, etc., right? He knows the audience of Essence, and the audience of Essence is black women. Because I feel like if he were, say, speaking with Rolling Stone magazine, I don't think he would have been so quick to say, black women are the closest thing to God. I don't think so. I think that he would have been trying to be a bit more, like, diplomatic, I guess. A bit more neutral and just say, all women are beautiful. All women are the closest thing to God. Right? That's just my personal opinion and take on it. I just think that because of the platform he was on, it kind of triggered him to maybe, perform a little bit. Right? Just as some black women perform. When they go on they Black Cane monologues, if you will. They put on a performance too to get that attention. Like, oh, let me just sing the Black Cane praises, and I get a whole bunch of attention and likes and views and subscriptions. But, I do think that the women who do that, I do think that there is some sincerity in their words, but also I do think that they are performing, just as I think that Big Sean is performing right now. And as well, in the video clip, it seemed like it was a slight struggle for him to even get those words out of his mouth. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, maybe that's just me, but it seemed like it was like a slight struggle. Haven't you ever had a slight struggle? If you saying something that you don't really feel and you don't really agree with, but you gotta say it for one reason or another, and it's just kind of struggling to get it out. That's kind of like what I was picking up on a little bit. And he was also looking off to the side as well. Um, he would look off to the right side and look off to the left side. Maybe some things was happening off camera, or maybe he was a low key giving a, a head shake, like saying no, in a way, perhaps. But overall, who am I to judge the authenticity of his words? That's just my conjecture and speculation on them. But generally speaking, why do some people feel the need to make these types of comparisons? Like, saying like, oh, this person or this group of people, they God, or something like that, right? And low key, I think it's like blasphemous, right? It's like blasphemy, right? Because you're not supposed to be worshiping man or one man. You're supposed to be worshiping God, your divine deity. And some people be saying like, oh, like, the Black King worshippers be saying that Black Kings be God. But it's like, well, if Black Kings were gods, then couldn't they get us out of the situation we're in? As far as, being stuck and stagnant in the system of white supremacy for many a years. But that's another story. But that's why y'all be having, all that drama and getting caught up in them toxic demonic relationships because, God ain't in it. God ain't in that. Right? You done made this person God. Right? But jumping back to Sincerity for a moment, another situation that came up very recently was an old interview that Floyd Mayweather did with his son on Nori's show. And the host, Nori, had said something to the effect of, oh, your son has good hair. And Floyd Mayweather responded and basically just said, no, there's no such thing as good hair, bad hair, etc., right? And, low key and high key, whatever key, checking Nori, right? And I feel like Floyd's response and what he was saying, I feel like he was sincere with that. Now, I do have some issues with some things that have happened since that has come out. But that's another video for another day. Perhaps, maybe, I'll talk about that at some other time or whatever. But basically, that situation just revolves around, stop going crazy over the bare minimum. Black women. The bare minimum that you get from black men. But comparing that to the situation with Big Sean, I just feel like Floyd was seemingly sincere. Well, I don't know if Big Sean was. But again, my speculation, and again, who am I to judge? And also, another thing, like Big Sean could have been said this, why now? And I'm speculating that he probably is doing this for some promo. He probably has some sort of a project coming out. I think he may be having, or he may have a EP coming out soon. So, what better way to get some publicity than to say some comments about black women, right? That's like the go-to when you need some publicity. Say something about black women that is triggering, whether positively or negatively triggering the black women. But it could have been worse. He could have been like, white women are the closest thing to God. Or like Latinas. I mean to tell you, they're the closest thing to God. Now that really would have got some that really would have got some people talk, especially some black women. So it could have been worse. And also, as we know, talk is cheap, right? Talk is cheap. And some people, especially some black women, did bring up Big Sean's dating history. And let me just say this as a disclaimer. Big Sean can date who he wants to date. All right? For the most part, I really don't care. Right? But still, because of the conversation that we're having, I think, it's a good thing to sort of review that. Right? So, as far as like his most high profile relationships, they've been with Naya Rivera from Glee. May she rest in peace. That was a really terrible situation that happened to her. And hopefully her family can get some closure on this situation. I mean, I'm not sure if they recovered her body or not. But he's also dated Jhené Aiko and also Ariana Grande, right? But, has he dated a black woman with his phenotype, at least in a high-profile relationship, right? Once he achieved the fame, not before the fame, because you may be able to find some before the fame. We know how that goes, right? That at that time, those were just the women that he had access to. But now, because he got the fame, he done glowed up, he got some more opportunities, right? He got some more options, right? And he wants to explore his options, right? But of course, the argument is going to be that, Naya Rivera and Jhené Aiko are black queens, right? That's going to be the argument, and that blackness comes in all colors and textures and shades and varieties. And y'all being jealous. Oh, y'all just envious. Y'all being haters. Oh, you saying that, Naya and Janae ain't black because, they ain't as dark as the, Kunta Kinte? Every black person ain't dark like Kunta Kinte, y'all. We come in so many shades and colors. Stop being so divisive. Right? That's why nobody likes y'all now. Right? And y'all leave Ariana Grande alone too. She a red bone. Ariana Grande, y'all red bone sister. And Danny Lee, y'all yellow bone sister. Sister. Mm-hmm. But to black women, though, who may be going along with this, to black women out there, y'all better wise up and get hip to the game that some of these black men are running on you. All right. Just trying to replace you with the next lightest and brightest woman that has a little bit of black in it. And also, they're going to be ushering in the Ariana Grandes, too, if it continues. Right? And the Danny Lays. And then another argument that comes up is, what about his black mama? He got a black mama, right? Maybe he was saying that about his black mama, right? Black mama, black queen too. Black mama do things too now. And that is good if he feels that his black mom and black grandma are the closest thing to God, although I do think that's a bit blasphemous. Um, but, humanly possible, perhaps, you know. But are black women understanding that as him referencing his mom and his grandma? I don't think so. Um, but of course, some black women will come and jump to his defense, saying like, "Oh, well, it could be about his mom or grandma and all that good stuff, and maybe it is, maybe it's not." Um, but he should have specified his message to his mom and grandma. This message was to black women in general. Again, that's part of the game that they run on you when they really be thinking about another type of a black woman, whether she's light skinned, exotical, biracial, passing them off as being the typical black woman, quote unquote, or either in this case saying that the black women he was referring to was his mom and grandma, but you didn't set it up and lead us to thinking that. You set it up and led us to think that it was about black women in general. So that's why people are responding as such. And also, I really don't think he views random black women as being, his mother and grandmother. And by chance, if he does, it's only when it's convenient to him. Right? Black men ain't out here talking about that could be my mama, that could be my daughter, that could be my sister. When Breonna Taylor happened, when Sandra Bland happened, when Corinne Gaines happened, right? When black women getting disrespected in hip hop music for decades, right? That ain't happened. But the black women, that could be my son, that could be my brother, that could be my Uber driver, that could be my Amazon Prime delivery guy. Why? He wasn't doing nothing to nobody. He was trying to get his life together, girl. Why they had to do that? They ain't had to shoot that man even though he had a gun and was trying to hold up and rob somebody at gunpoint. They ain't have to shoot him like that, girl. They could have brought him in. Girl, that was my friend, girl. Right. And it seems like, black women, some do so much mental gymnastics to, find a reason to cape for black men and just even relate to black men, which wouldn't be a bad thing if it was reciprocated. That's the thing. It's not reciprocated, so then it's like, oh, well, oh, like, I guess you don't feel the same way about me. Oh, it's, reciprocity. The reciprocity is lacking. Is it even there at all? And I know some people are also going to come through and say, it doesn't matter if he's dating a black woman or not. It don't matter. All right. He can say the compliment is cool. Stop being so judgmental and so dang on naggy about it. Y'all always nagging. Black women always nagging, man. Giving black man a hard time. Always giving brother a hard time. But the thing is, let's flip this around a little bit, since folks are saying that it don't matter if he dates a black woman or not. Let's say if Serena Williams, Eve, Jodie Turner Smith, Halle Berry, Tamara Mori, and I know those are biracial women, but let's just include the men. Let's just go with it though. Let's say if they'd said something like, you know, black men are the closest thing to God while doing some promo for a project that they have coming up on a black platform. I'm pretty sure black people, both black men and black women, would call them out for not being with black men. Why do you think so? And the reason is because actions speak louder than words. So yes, who Big Sean dates or does not date is a factor in this situation, in this conversation. All right. And also the black women, you have to stop being so thirsty for that black kind Kool-Aid. I'm not saying you can't desire a black man. That's normal. What I'm saying is don't be thirsty about it. Because some of y'all acting like y'all ain't never heard a compliment or a positive opinion from black kings in your life. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. There might be some truth in that. If it don't apply, let it fly. All right. And on the flip side, you don't have to be angry about the pandering if you're not angry, right? You don't have to be angry if you're not angry. I'm not telling you to go out and be angry, be the angry black woman, right? And you don't have to go ham on Big Sean if you don't want to or you don't feel inclined to. And you can just take the compliment and keep it moving, right? It's just don't get caught up in it and let someone run game on you, right? And also, it's generally speaking, it's good to be able to recognize who's pandering to black women, who's trying to run game on black women. It's good to be able to recognize that. And that's part of the reason that I'm doing this video. But I've said what I gotta say for the time being. But let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section below. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now. Oh yeah, and don't forget, Redbone, Ariana Grande, and Yellowbone, Danny Lay, they are invited to the cookout, so y'all gonna be seeing them at the cookout, and they're gonna be performing at the cookout too. They're gonna be performing their songs at the cookout now, y'all. So y'all be prepared for that, all right? Y'all know Ariana can sing, right? Danny Lay got the dance moves too. So I'm interested. They might put together a good show up at the cookout, all right? But until then, adios and goodbye for now.